Today on Business Under Fire, we've got Nate and Chance Roberts that are from Creston, Texas. They own a company called Practical Metals, and I dug into it a little bit, but we're going to have an hour and a half to discuss it. But Creston, Texas is what, 4 or 5 hours from here?
Yeah, it's about 4 hours. You know, when you drive like we do early in the morning, it's a pretty easy drive.
So I appreciate y'all coming. Riley got y'all involved in this, which is to be determined if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Everything's a good thing.
Yeah. But already your dad and I have had some pretty interesting discussions about where you guys are at in business, where I'm in business. And the entire point of Business Under Fire podcast is to kind of walk through these things and share our stories. And you're at an age where I deal with college kids all day long. And then your dad has said some really awesome things about what you've done for the business and how you jumped into it. And so I have no clue where this conversation is going to go, but I can tell.
I think Tommy's the one that's scared now.
I'm not scared. I'm actually really, I feel like this conversation is going to be super fruitful for anybody that listens and is at a point in business where you guys are at and I'm at, because y'all done a great job. Y'all are in a very, very small percentage of people based on revenue. So first of all, you've got to pat yourself on the back. But then second of all, kind of like what your dad and I were talking about where we're at, it's kind of scary. And you were talking about, first of all, tell us what Practical Metals is and how it started from dad.
So Practical Metals is the birth child actually of Chance. I've been in commercial roofing and steel for 25 years since I got out of the Marine Corps, and I've been an entrepreneur. I've worked for myself. I've been on the design, build, erect side of steel, but at the time post COVID, I was working for a company selling steel buildings and metal materials, and I had golden handcuffs. They were paying me a good salary, but I was so hampered in what I could do, what I couldn't do. And the business model just wasn't going to last. But at the same time, you've got a family to support. At that point, Chance had decided he was done playing college baseball, which meant, as I knew for a decade before that, when Chance was done playing baseball, he was also done with college, much to his mother's dismay on both counts. So Chance comes home and he thinks he's going to go make $1 million selling insurance, which he realizes very quickly that his entire contact list is all under the age of 26 and none of them need healthcare insurance.
Oh, shit.
So he moved on to his real passion, which is cars, and went to work for a dealership that we'd done business with for years. Selling.
Were you selling cars?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So he went to work for them. Incredibly successful as a salesman. Got, as I refer to it, a PhD in sales, because if you can sell cars successfully, you can really do a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
And he was frustrated because he was bored. You make good money in that industry, but when you're not busy, you're doing nothing.
Yeah.
And so,
waiting to take ups.
Yeah. Well, Chance developed a nice line of business that wasn't walk-in business, which really serves him well here. But one Friday night, we were both, having maybe too many glasses of whiskey and discussing our beating our head against the wall for different reasons. And he says, you should just use your contacts and we should go do this ourselves. And, another glass or two of whiskey and I'm forming and typing my resignation email. So at that point, we started a small company called Asset Materials, which has morphed into Practical Building Systems and Practical Metals, which is the architectural side. And over the last, now 3.5 years, it has been a roller coaster ride. We thought we were going to kind of be a manufacturer's rep or, just buy and resell for a few select clients and have a good living. And then we realized, we can actually build this into a company that is supporting our customer base, there for our customer base, and there for, other customers that we can bring on that need that service.
When you were working for the other company and you had a good paying job, Golden Handcuffs, what was going through your mind at the time, and how long did it take you to actually think, man, I'm ready to jump?
At that point, I think I was already at the point that I was ready to jump. I needed a catalyst. And
that was bourbon and whiskey was a catalyst.
That was just enough Maker's Mark and Chance in my ear. And, Chance and I have been pretty close. Yes, we're father and son, but as a business partner goes, I've never had a better one.
Yeah. And
I've had a few business partners and they've lasted for a period of time, but we see eye to eye on things. When he's a little too aggressive or moving a little too fast, I actually become the brakes, which is unheard of in my life.
Yeah.
And very rare.
And vice versa. So, we make a good yin and yang when it comes to the business, but we're on the same page. And Chance and I have been, since he was 12 years old selling baseball equipment, we've worked together and worked side by side because for us, it's just the end goal.
Mm-hmm. Do you buy and trade and sell baseball cards, or did you?
I used to just really collect. I got a good friend of mine that we keep talking about going through all the stuff that I do have and be like, okay, we need to, send them off, get graded, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know why I just haven't done it yet. I just need to find the time and start going through it.
I got a buddy, Mark, that's all over baseball cards, and he's me and your dad's age. And I'm going, man, but he loves it. And that's all he does. And now he's getting his son addicted to it.
It's definitely an expensive addiction.
Yeah. I met with a guy yesterday. I had lunch with a guy that owned maybe 7 or 8 car dealerships. And for people that are in the car business, it's kind of hard to get out of. It kind of sucks them in. And I started selling cars on my 18th birthday. That's awesome. And my first check, and that would have been 1998, was $7,600 as an 18-year-old kid. And it's interesting, the people that get stuck in the car business, but you made it out of it. What do you think of the top? First, would you suggest people go sell cars? And then what are the top things that you learned being in the car business that have carried over to the metal building business?
First of all, I think the car industry as a whole is a great learning opportunity. And, if you love the life and it's for you, it's a great career. It's something that I absolutely loved. I loved the rush, and before COVID was impactful on the automotive industry, it was constant go, which I love. I don't like sitting still. I don't like being just nothing going on. And the biggest thing that I took away from a lot of that is just how to deal with people. How to deal with people that they come in expecting, oh, I'm going to deal with some guy that doesn't know what he's doing, or I'm going to take advantage of the situation. And it's about controlling the situation and understanding, what people's end goal is, and just, trying to tell them that, they're coming to the dealership to buy a car, but you're not selling them the car. You're selling them you. As long as you can sell you to the client, that's what matters. They just want the relationship.
And that's going to carry over whether you're selling pencils or helicopters.
It does not matter.
And you meet so many people in the car business. It could be from all walks of life, and then that's what you have to sell them is you. And so, how does that transfer into the metal building sales?
It's the exact same relationship. It's developing a client that you have to show them, and it takes time, but showing them whether it's
rapport,
knowledge or just getting stuff done for them that other people won't. but building rapport with them and going, hey, I'm here to help you and I care about your business. And that's what means the world to them.
Yeah.
And the difference between getting the sale and not getting the sale most of the time is being the guy that tells them, hey, I'm here to make the sale, but I'm here to help you grow. That's all that matters in this world.
Yeah.
And that's the big difference between learning how to deal with people and actually kind of taking it to a point that it's, what's a good word to use? I would say probably you're involved with them as much as possible to where it's just a relationship at that point. It's not even sales. I
agree. I think everybody should wait tables for a year and sell cars for a year.
100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In the car business, I mean, I was 18 and you were young too when you were doing it, and just dealing with everybody. It teaches you so much that I don't think they can teach you in sales training or courses, or there's nothing like on the job training.
No, getting thrown in the fire is the best way to be indoctrinated. It's
yeah. Especially in that atmosphere too. But the customer now has so much knowledge. They know what the cars cost.
But wait, they believe they have knowledge.
That's the
Let's
truth.
be very clear, because when you're out and you're on the old interweb,
yes,
there's so much conflicting information that if they just do a minimal amount of research, they believe that they have the knowledge that they need. But once they start digging in, man, what they find out is there's so much that they don't know.
Yes.
And you've got to be prepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's absolutely nothing worse than a customer who knows everything, when in reality, they really don't.
Yes. And that happens across all industries.
Oh, it's so, it was kind of mind blowing to me. The biggest thing was, knowing the product, but knowing how to get people to where they want to be, not, where they think they want to be.
Yeah.
And, so many times, especially in the car industry, someone walks in, they're like, hey, I want to look at this. And I mean, it felt like 50% of the time, by the time you're closing a deal, it's a completely total different vehicle.
What brand were you selling?
Mopar, Ram, Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler.
Cool.
Right before Stellantis bought them.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Well, my 07 5.9 Dodge has the dash off of it right now because of the AC, but it's got 343,000 miles, and I'm not getting rid of it.
No, you can't get rid of the 5.9.
It's such a good truck.
No def, none of the sensors. It's simple. It's so simple.
It's a great truck, so I really enjoy it. And then I got my gas guzzler Land Cruiser. I'm tired of shit breaking down. And so I don't think the Land Cruiser will break down. So where you had started this business together from scratch.
Oh yeah.
And neither of you guys had your own business before?
No, that's not accurate. I am a serial failed entrepreneur. And by failed, I mean successful for a period, and then I get bored.
Yeah.
Because once things are up and running on their own and it's not a challenge for me, then I'm bored. But in the past, I've been the entire company. Maybe I had employees, maybe I had people working for me, but if it weren't for the work that I did, and what I realized, when we started this thing was, if we're going to do this, it's got to be a company that can operate without me.
Yeah.
Without chance. And that's what we're trying to build this to, because otherwise all we're doing is creating jobs for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I don't want a job.
Slave to it. Yeah.
This is wonderful. We had a guy come speak in Nashville that does hundreds of millions of dollars a year. This was 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. And a lot of entrepreneurs are, they just keep building jobs, and people will say, and that's for themselves. And they say, man, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? And this guy says, I don't do anything. I talk to 4 people a day. I work out twice a day. I have my golf simulator at my house, and then I go work on my business in my business where I want. And that sounds like where you guys want to get to.
It is. It absolutely is. And, you know, in the baseball realm where Chance grew up, the phrase was, you know, you want to be the player that flies in for the games. Mm-hmm. That's who I want to be in our businesses eventually. Now, getting there, you know, we were talking earlier that we're implementing EOS in our business. And what I've learned is as we delegate tasks and jobs and elevate those people and give them the responsibility to take care of them, holy shit, now I have more work to do.
Yeah.
It's just different work, and I'm working on the business but allowing them to run, make decisions, and be the guy that just is there when they need them is what I want.
How hard is that for you to turn over those responsibilities to other people?
Absolutely terrible. It's so scary.
It is.
The best way I could put it is the first person we hired, besides, you know, office staff, stuff like that to help us on the APAR. First hire was a driver. Nate and I threw a fit first time we turned the truck over to him by himself. And he's done a great job. And he started off and we had full faith in him. And it was just the fact that we don't have control at this point. I mean, we have control, but it's relying on other people, which we've never done. We've never been used to in this sort of sense. And it was absolutely terrifying at first.
This is the kind of shit that every single entrepreneur goes through. It's wild. And I think
it's so necessary.
It's a must. And, you know, the way I kind of look at it is that I know that we're going to turn something over. But now I've just accepted that I'm going to have to pick up, or somebody is going to have to pick up a couple pieces from that responsibility. So you turn the guy loose in the truck. Nate likes that truck spotless. You're going to go back to that truck. Most likely there's going to be a few minutes of cleaning in that truck. So if you find somebody that does 110% of what you want, man, you better keep them. But I also feel like that's the key to success in business is people.
So the other side of that 100%, no one's going to do the job that Chance and I do to 100%.
Yeah.
So for us, and I when we talked before, I listen to a ton of audiobooks because I don't know how to be the CEO of a $10 million company.
We could dig into that too.
But I think it was a Dan Martell book that referred to the fact that 80%, a job done to 80% satisfaction by someone else and not me is 100% better than me trying to do everything.
Yeah.
Because I can increase that 80% and I can get them closer to 90 or 95% when that's their job.
Yeah. Well, I don't think, you know, and this is this is why we do this shit. Nate has never ran a company this size ever. And then you wake up in the morning and here you are running a $10 million metal company. And you've told me 3 times that I don't know how to be the CEO of a company this size. And I don't think you want to be a CEO of a company this size. I think you want to be the CEO of a $50 million company. And I think your son wants to be the CEO of a $50 million company. And what y'all have done in 3 years is extremely impressive. And as business owners, we have got to get our thinking away from what you're talking about, because you're talking about present day. And you are the CEO and you're doing a good job of it. And now you've got to get your mind to be a $50 million a year CEO. And how do you do that? And how do those systems go in place? And I have a partner that's kind of my yin and yang, and I don't know which one of y'all steps on the gas more than the other one, but you know, he gives you the break and and tells you, hey, dad, chill out just a little bit. What's that like to have your son saying, hey, dad, love the idea, but you need to chill out?
I cannot express to you how many times that we have that conversation weekly, but
Daily, weekly.
I think the biggest difference is for Chance and it's a mutual respect situation that when we are working, whether it's on the phone with each other, whether it's, at the office, whatever it is, even there are a lot of people that we do business with that don't realize my business partner is my son.
One of my biggest clients just found out.
Yeah.
And he was blown away.
I think it's interesting when people call their dad, Nate or mom. And I don't know how that.
I call him mom all the time.
If he's acting like mom. I just don't know where that transition occurred, at what age. He's like, all right, Nate, you need to chill out. Get in the delivery truck, Nate. This needs to go over here.
No,
I'm going to put your name on the board, Nate.
Ask him when he stopped calling me Nate. And, my wife, we just celebrated 26 years together. She runs our office. She was our first employee.
Yeah, y'all are a family affair.
But ask Chance's version of
when did
why.
you start calling dad Nate?
It's a long story. I mean, it's really not a long story, but it goes back to, when I was younger playing sports, and no matter what you're playing, we'll go to these big tournaments or something, and you're in the dugout and you're like, oh my gosh, I need a water, I'm out, or I need a Gatorade, and you go, mom or dad, and 17 people turn around and stare at you, and I'm just like, Nate, one person turns around, and I'm like, so much easier. And I've been doing it ever since I was young. And people all the time, even my grandparents are like, you really should stop calling your parents Nate and Linda. It's the funniest thing. It's weird, but it works.
It has to work. I've never thought of that. I mean, you have to do that. Dad does not work at baseball games.
Yeah, well, I've done it once, and we were in a meeting with a client, and I go, hey, Dad. And they looked at me like, what? And I'm like, Nate, sorry.
Man, what is the bulk, number one thing that you guys are selling?
So really two divisions of the business right now. And, it's funny you mentioned a $50 million business because part of EOS is our 1 year, 3 year, 10-year plan. And in 10 years, the business model that we have will be split. So Practical Building Systems, LLC, is the parent company. And that's our pre-engineered metal building, structural, steel, any of that side.
Who would a customer be on that side of the business? Ideal customer?
Developers, GCs. I mean, we don't do a lot with end clients because it's just not our market. But, anyone that's going out, they're bidding big buildings, or they're putting up a whole business park, stuff like that.
Are a lot of the big business parks all metal buildings?
Most of them, just for cost.
Your Class A business parks, your big tilt walls, your 150,000 to 1 million square footers, those are all going to be, tilt wall, bar joist, and beam.
Yeah.
But when you get into these smaller business parks, which, believe it or not, are about square footage wise, when you add it all up, from what I understand, more than 70% of the leasable business parks in the country are Class B, which is pre-engineered metal buildings, or, even in smaller areas, some weld-up metal buildings and things like that with exposed fastener panel or concealed fastener panel on the outside. But it's a metal building is what it is.
As cost-effective as you can get it.
Yeah.
So, and then in addition to that division, Chance runs pretty much solely. And then Practical Metals, which is our architectural division, which is coil and flat sheets. That's my hashtag. Hashtag coils and flats. We joke about it.
Where do the coil and flat sheets go on the building?
So we take large coils and we process them down into smaller usable coils for roll forming standing seam metal roofs. Residential, commercial, industrial. even for pre-engineered buildings when they want a concealed fastener system. Those are all 24 gauge. They're Kynar paint systems, which are more architecturally driven. But we do the raw materials for concealed fastener wall panels. Some of your much more architecturally pleasing metal siding systems. And then flat sheets, which are just the same material, cut into flat sheets or cut into what we call blanks, which are less than full width flat sheets for trims that then get broke.
All of the machines, when you started this business, you guys had to go buy all of these machines to do this in-house?
No, they just showed up one day. There's a long story behind
Santa brought them.
that.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, when we started, we used third-party processors when we initially started, and the cost of that just became more and more costly as they realized we were dependent on them because we had to have them for our business. So then we brought that in-house, and when we invested in that machinery, we looked at, 4 different manufacturers, and the manufacturer that we work and run with is a Australian-American partnership. They're manufactured in Australia, but they have technical support here. It's a company called SWI Machinery. They are the cream of the crop when it comes to processing equipment in our industry for a smaller manufacturer. We may spend $500,000 to $600,000 on a line that you can buy a competitor's line for $275 or $300, but it's not the same quality. It runs slower. It may not process to the same tolerances. Support is not there. So for us, it's about an investment long term, and the support that we've gotten from them as a whole has been absolutely incredible.
Was that a decision that y'all guys made together?
To do it, yes.
Yeah.
But while Chance is running the metal buildings, again, that architectural side that we process in-house is primarily my decision. But for purchasing the equipment, it was almost forced on both of us at the same time. So the decision was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Where does a guy go? I mean, that's probably, $1 million in equipment plus. How did you come up with the seed money? What did you do to get that ball running?
Do you want to talk about our weekend proposal for
Professional baseball?
I wish. No, that'd been nice. Honestly, we've kicked around the whole idea of bringing in investors and stuff like that, and it's come down to a lot of we just got to go do it ourselves through the the building side, the brokering side, stuff like that, and it's just been a thing that we've had to deal with.
Banking relationships.
Banking relationships have been the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing for us is, for a while there, we were, hey, let's go find an investor. Let's see if we can have someone help us with it. But it came to a deal that, we're going to spend all of our time building this just for someone else to reap the rewards.
Yeah.
We sat down, we determined at one point when we were bringing this line in, and we had ordered this line having no idea how we were going to pay for it.
Welcome to being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
We said we're doing restaurants and I didn't know how to pay for them.
Yeah.
But somehow it comes. I don't know how.
We spent an entire weekend, and this was just before I quit drinking. So there may have been more whiskey involved in this, but we spent an entire weekend putting a proposal together for our bank that we had a relationship with, and, calculating and putting down on paper what we were spending for having someone else process it. But basically we had to go in there and tell them the story.
Yeah.
And thank goodness that relationship made that happen. It was a lot of hard work to convince them. Don't get me wrong. But now that relationship's grown, blossomed, and they've got a ton of things. And if we need something, we go to them.
I've got a really good bank that I like to use, and I've been talking to them about advertising, and they haven't spent any advertising dollars yet, and they listen to this podcast, and so we're just going to leave their name out of it. And it's my favorite bank. I've said it a gazillion times, and I'm going to go. I'll be in Lubbock next week and meeting with them. But you guys are right up their alley on who they would lend to, and but. You know, how scary is it to take that step and buy your own equipment and invest in what you're doing to get stuff? But what was that first order like that y'all used that machine? What was that feeling like?
A feeling of accomplishment and then the realization of, oh my gosh, we actually got to do this.
Yeah. There were a lot of late nights when we started processing. And for Chance and I, thank goodness we have the incredible relationship we have, because you have never seen a father and son MF one another like now.
You never operated that machine.
No. We had never operated any machine like it.
All you knew is you needed earplugs.
We got 3 days of training while it was being installed. Now, don't get me wrong. I cannot tell you that first weekend when we were processing a big order. I mean, we're talking about a $30,000 order. You know, this is big for us.
Yeah.
While setting up the machine.
And oh, by the way, that order will make this month's payment on the machine.
Yes.
And, you know, thank goodness the technician, who happens to live in Dallas, Fort Worth as well, we had his cell phone number, and I promise you, 20 phone calls over the weekend while we're trying to get this thing dialed in.
I felt so bad for him.
But again, we go out to, we go to MetalCon every year, which is the big convention, and we spend so much time with them and singing their praises.
Yeah.
Just like they sing our praises. So,
you know what I like? I like that it's y'all just took the stance of, if we don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And how many times has that happened as an entrepreneur?
I feel like probably more than 80% of the time.
It's like
sometimes
daily sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you're of the generation, there's a guy, I forget his name, Jason McCool owns a business out of Florida, and he's recruiting college age or just after students. And that has been kind of the recipe to his success. And you're of the, generation where everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. They want the unlimited earning potential. They want to see, the carrot dangling way up there. And part of the keys to my success have been the college age students. And I think you probably have a lot of friends that have wanted to do something, but they're too scared to take the jump.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And you've taken the jump now for 3 years. And what would your take on going into business for yourself be after these 3 years?
Looking back, it's why would I ever have done something that risky? But at the same time, it's at some point you just got to realize I can either rely on myself or I can't rely on anyone at all.
Yeah.
And it's, once you actually take the first step, it's not necessarily, you still have nights where it's just like straight anxiety and just trying to figure out, what am I doing?
And mom's involved.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I bet y'all have some restless nights at the house.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely happened quite a bit. And it's, it's something that it gets easier and easier, and it gets, it happens, less times, the more you move through it, but it's still going to happen. But it's definitely the part of it's just got to get done. You just got to put everything aside, anxiety and, the scariness of it, and go, just get it done.
I've sat across this table and had hundreds of conversations with entrepreneurs, and there's not one person that said it was easy. It was unstressful. It was relaxing.
If someone does, I'm going to go into that industry.
Yeah, but everybody, what is, can you please tell us what that is? But everybody has said it's been worth it.
Oh, 1000%. And even the failures in my past, and I view them, I use the word failure. I've never once failed.
Yeah.
I've either won or I've learned.
Yeah, we don't fail, we learn.
Yeah. And, Chance has been blessed, if you will, to see a lot of those secondhand and smart enough to not have to learn.
What is one of the things that you failed at, and how did you rebound from it?
2008, in the roofing industry, in the commercial and residential roofing industry. In 2008, I was out over my skis, just building and running and going, but we hadn't built systems or put systems in place. Again, it was me holding everything together. So the one thing more than anything that I've learned is, if you don't systemize, systems will stand the test of time.
Yeah.
A person and hard work. Now, don't get me wrong. We all know it takes a lot of hard work, but we've gotten to where we are by sheer hard work and sometimes stupidity, but that's not going to get you to the next level. That's not going to build a company that somebody looks at and says, oh, I want to do business with that company.
Yeah.
They may want to do business with Chance or Nate, but they don't look at it. And now we're starting to get those phone calls where, hey, we heard from such and such that you're the company to deal with on, specialized metal buildings. Chance picked up a client this week. I got a phone call from a friend, and he had recommended us because some other relationships were falling through. And in the matter of 10 days, Chance has turned, this potential into a customer. And they look like they may become a long-term client. So yeah, it's learning that those systems have to be in place to support it.
Chance, as a younger entrepreneur, what are you doing to better yourself and get knowledge so that you can hold all this stuff together?
It's as weird as it's going to sound. I love trying to read more about, there's always going to be things that you don't know in business, and, in the specialty you're in, there's always things to learn. But I have relied a lot on a couple of my manufacturers, one in particular, that they have poured as much knowledge into me as possible, and I couldn't have done it without them. They have helped me with every step along the way. There's still days I'll call one of the guys over there, and I'm like, hey, I think we can make this work. How do we make this work? And they'll walk me through step by step, help me out, show me how to do it. And I know how to do it once. I know how to do it again. It's just taking the steps to learn it and go, hey, just ask the questions.
I think being an entrepreneur is a never-ending learning journey.
100%.
And you've got to stay, curious, humble, coachable, teachable. The dangerous spot is when you think you know everything.
Always got to be the dumbest guy in the room.
Yeah, and I pick everybody's brain because I want to know what they know, or learn the lessons that they've learned. Well, y'all guys have done a good job on this business for 3 years and probably grown at a rate that most people would never have imagined. And you really have. I'm in rooms with entrepreneurs all the time, and I see it, and I forget what percentages, but it's something like 94% of businesses never get over $1 million in revenue. Mm-hmm. That immediately puts you on the other side of the table. And then it's something like 97 or 98 never get over 10 million. Mm-hmm. And so you start standing in this little cup of people. What do you guys plan on, and what does the next 3 to 5 or 7 years look like for you? You're 25, you're a kid. Like, I didn't know. I tell people you don't know jack shit till you're 27, and until you're 27,
I don't even know if it's 27. It's probably older than that.
These college kids want to slap me when I tell them that, and I've been working for myself since I was 19, and I think you kind of get, and your dad might agree with me, I think you start really getting your brain on at 27, 28. So you're learning so much stuff now at an early age that this business in 15 years, where do you see it? What are you trying to do with it? Dad's handing this thing to you.
Oh, no. Let's be clear. It is his already.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, it is. This is, we deal with this a lot, and I really want to hear this answer too. But we deal with this a lot because I still get the phone calls. Oh, hey, I need you to have Chance. No, you need to call Chance. That is not a thing between us. I want Chance to really tell you the plan for the next 3 to 5 to 10 years.
We go back and forth on a lot of this, and our biggest joke is, especially in the past year and a half, is, we walk outside, we'll go in the shop, and when Nate and I start brainstorming, we just walk. And we did it the other day. We walked 2.5 miles in about an hour, just having conversations of where our growth is and what we need to start planning on for the future and all that kind of stuff. And I'm, especially at this point in business where it's, it's just get stuff done. It's not about, we want to be here, but you gotta do the work to get there. Mm-hmm. And man, I see our growth being exactly the same thing we're doing, just trying to figure out how we can expand to other people and just help other guys as much as possible and spread the knowledge that we have. And my biggest philosophy is when you do people right and you help them grow, it's going to benefit you in return. Yeah. It's all about the motive behind it. And I think that's where a lot of people start getting in the headspace, and they start having issues in their business. Is they start a business to make money. People that start a business and that they get successful in it, whether it's for a short period of time or the ones that are a long period of time, they get in it because they see an issue that they want to help fix. It's not necessarily people want to get into business and make money. That's 100% a goal.
Well, that's the number one reason, whether they want to admit it or not. But I could tell that you have a passion for the metal building business, and maybe even more a passion for people and the relationships is what I've been hearing out of you, is the relationships that you established to get y'all's common goals taken care of and finished. So, but you do have to be careful where you set your goals, because oftentimes you'll hit them.
Nate and I's biggest joke, and that's what I forgot to say, is when we first started doing the coils and flat sheets, our biggest joke was, we're never going to get into manufacturing. Why would we?
Why would we do this?
There's so much capacity in the market, and then we start seeing we really need to have more control. And our clients are going, hey, we need this, and hey, we need this, and oh, hey, by the way, we never got this, and it's like, that's not good. We need to be able to control these factors, and as much as we didn't want to admit it, we're like, it's just time.
I was reading somewhere, again, it was probably yesterday or the day before, that you don't want to be in the manufacturing or sourcing and distribution business. You want to be on one side or the other. How I don't know. The guy had said that you want to be really good at the distribution or really good at the manufacturing. So how do you feel about that, or what have you seen?
As a lot of these large companies that we have to deal with day in and day out, and even the ones that are great, it's a fact that you're either, just like what I like to say about, some of the guys that are in the smaller buildings, you're either really good at welding or really good at sheeting. Yeah. And you want to focus on that one aspect. And there's companies that, they can do, smaller companies have an easier time doing this, but the guys that are, 50 million, 100 million, 250 million, they've tried to branch out, but their niche is either in the manufacturing or the distribution side.
But if your client had a problem with something that was from a third-party manufacturer, how long does it take you to correct that problem then versus how long does it take you to correct it now?
So the biggest issue when dealing with being a distributor or a manufacturer is now it's a three-way conversation for anything that gets to the end. And when you're dealing with a large manufacturer, it becomes even more people involved, and the big distributors. And we do work with distributors regularly. We're glad to service them at the level that we can. But if we were to rely on them Now it's a race to the bottom because that distributor wants to buy just as cheap as they possibly can to make their margin and still be cheap to the end user. So our model on that side of the architecturals, we do both. And most of our competitors have a hybrid model as well. They sell some people direct, they sell some through distribution, but it's the control. It's just like manufacturing.
Yeah.
We on the architectural side, and I just had this conversation yesterday with a large contractor. What we bring to the table is the combining of technologies and business practices, the best of from two different industries. And you've built some of these pre-engineered metal buildings. And, I get a call from a roofing contractor who says, hey, I'm bidding this job and it's such and such. And they'll send me the plans to get some advice. And I go, okay, here's my advice. Don't waste your time bidding this job because it's a pre-engineered metal building. The erector is going to put all the panel on it. Plain and say, oh no, the GC told me it's my job to roof, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. And I say, okay, put your number on it and figure out how many hours you just wasted because it's not going to happen. And for some reason, very seldom do those two businesses intersect. So for us to have those direct relationships with contractors, as we're sitting here, I get contractors that I have handed off to our sales team to manage day in and day out, but they still call me when it's a super technical deal.
Yeah.
We don't have in-house technical at this point. It's still Chance and I, right? So they call me, they respect the business model, but we're getting over that hump where they call me for everything. And that relationship, when it's got to go from contractor to distributor to manufacturer, or sometimes to two-step distributor to manufacturer, it just gets convoluted, and we live in a world that moves at breakneck speed.
Yeah, we do. Now we do for sure.
Yeah.
How difficult is it? You're talking about delegating stuff to the sales team, and you're at a point in your business where you're trying to take yourself out of the business and work on the business, not out of it, but you want to fine tune. I tell people I oil and grease the wheels where it needs to be oiled and greased. How hard is it as a hands-on guy to keep getting, stepping back, and what does that verbiage look like when you talk to these sales guys and tell them, hey, you need to do this? And
when we bring on salespeople, correct me if I'm wrong, we empower them to be the advocate for our contractor. Because when I worked for big companies and I was the sales guy, that's what I was. That company may pay my salary and pay me to sell this contractor, but my job is to be the advocate for my customer to the company, to make sure that they have what they need, but also to be the advocate the other way to support that customer, know what's going on with their job, know what's going on. So we empower our sales force. And if I don't need to know about it, and, I put a post on Facebook a couple of weeks ago. I pulled up and the driver was leaving. And for probably the first time in a year and a half, I had no idea what or where it was going.
yes.
And that was my thing. I'm like, hey, Benny, our ops manager. I'm like, hey, Benny, where is that? Oh, it's going to such and such. And they ordered it, yesterday or whatever. And I'm like,
hell yes.
Success.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
I went to the coffee shop in Amarillo several times. But when I walked around there the other day, I said, guys, I guess I've been successful. And I said, why is that? I said, because this is the first restaurant, coffee shop I've built that I didn't have to go to Home Depot.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
And as entrepreneur guys that work for ourselves, we want to control everything. We want a product delivered correctly, but like our ultimate goal and the ultimate goal of a successful company is to have it to run when you're not there. And to see metal going out the door the other day, not know where it went, and then a check that got paid for it, dude.
And the funny part is, since then, it's happened 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it.
What
And-
small but huge wins.
Oh, man.
Huge.
So
It's the little things.
Yes.
It's the stuff that you'd never think of to be like, oh, that is the measurement of, our success and what stage we're in is. I don't know. It just happened, but it's been good.
I know it's neat. How do y'all guys celebrate a win?
Quickly.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
We were walking in Nashville with my business partner, and we opened that coffee shop yesterday. And we were there. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, the day before. And we have a realtor guy with us. And I said, "Are you enjoying our celebration of our win? Because this is it." Mm-hmm. And he's like, "That's all." I'm like, "That's it."
Yeah.
On to the next.
Yeah.
There is no pomp and circumstance, even for large wins. Like, we'll celebrate the team and their successes.
Yeah.
Probably more than anything that we do, because us not knowing about things and it getting done is the goal. So now we're just reaching the goal. Now, how do we exceed that? Now, how do we grow that?
Yeah.
So it's on to the next one.
Y'all are in such an interesting transition point in business that so many people are going through, and it's really hard to find good information or good groups to go to that people have been through what y'all are going through and kind of right where I'm going through. It's such an interesting point. And from the outside, everybody be like, "Dude, y'all are so successful. This is great." And you're like,
Some days.
my bank account does not say that right now at all. And I don't know if the bank account is,
It's not a good identifier.
what
at all.
unit of measurement should be used for us? Like, we could do whatever we want today, right? We could go wherever we want. We got to take care of customers. But what unit of measurement do we use for our own?
I think the bank account just shows that, hey, we're in the right direction.
Yeah.
But as a good unit of success, I mean, I think that's just a daily, hey, everything went the way it should.
But what happens? I used to in landscaping. I did landscaping for 20 years. We would outwork our receivables so fast. And if y'all have 2, 3, 4, 5 gigantic orders that are on 30, 60, 90 days, whatever they are, I mean, dude, you can outwork your bank account in a second.
So
scary.
one of the things, and this is something from the business side that I'm glad you just touched on. Everyone who comes to work for us now gets the speech. Look, you are going to watch this company go from chaos to organization. That's your job. That's what's going to happen. But when it comes to the financial side of the business, so many people are really good at what they do and they're crappy with money. Me. It's me. I'm that person.
Yeah.
So, for us, we started and we hired a fractional CFO who has grown into, soon to be our CFO, who is soon to be our full-time CFO. And it's her job to make sure that we are doing that. With a couple of mentors, we've learned to run business playing chess, not checkers. And you talk about the ability. I don't need money. I don't need cash in my bank account. I need access to it.
Yeah.
When I need it.
Yeah.
And those things are things that are not taught in school, but every Fortune 500 company, do you think they're sitting on $1 million cash in their bank account to pay bills with? No. They're sitting on very little, if any, cash. They're using the bank line to pay day in and day out. And that method that we adopted in the last year has allowed us to go after projects that we could never have gone after. And it allows us to operate smoothly and without that 2 a.m., oh shit, where's payroll coming from?
What would you say the, top couple of things that the temporary or interim CFO has done for you guys?
Taken a lot of stress off of our back. It's, the late nights of going through books and trying to make sure everything's, not just adding up, but lining up the way it should, going, okay, did we actually make this money on this project? Or, was there a whole bunch of stuff that we didn't see that we lost money on it, whether it be, time involved or, hey, there was 2 things missing on that we had to go run down the Home Depot and go grab, and my time involved with doing that. And
so they're accounting for everything.
They're accounting for a lot of that stuff, but it takes a lot of that stuff off our back to where we can go do more.
And is that person also kind of the controller? Are they taking in payments, sending out payments, or are they just inputting it?
All they are doing is running the inputs and making sure everything is to where, instead of, us having to sit down on Wednesday or a Friday or whatever day it is, I don't even know at this point.
It doesn't matter.
And,
Sunday.
And having to sit down and start going through everything and, trying to finish out the month and everything. We show up on a Thursday for a meeting and we go through everything. And I'm to the point now, I walk in for 10 minutes. Okay, everything looks good. I'm back to doing what I need to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are y'all having meetings once a month or once a week, or what does that structure look like? Or it's walking around the yard?
So from
I'm not involved on that
from a
much
running
anymore.
the business side with EOS, Chance, where he falls in our accountability chart, is running PBS, Practical Building Systems. And so he falls under sales, and then he's got an owner's block at the top. But he comes in just to make sure that we do what's called an L10 meeting once a week. And it's a very structured, very organized way of working through issues and problems. So for running the company, we have that meeting once a week. And then we have quarterly meetings to set our goals. The business cycle moves at breakneck speed. So every 90 days, we meet to make sure we're on track for our annual goals or how we correct. Because if you get 7 months down the road and you haven't made course corrections, you're already too late. So weekly, quarterly, and then annually, we're doing a 2-day planning session to go over how the previous year was and prepare for the next year.
Good.
So as a leadership team, which is comprised of our CFO, myself as what they call, EOS refers to it as a visionary position, our integrator, whose job it is to take the vision, and really it's a combined vision of Chance and I, and implement it to our customers, to our employees, and then our who also doubles as our ops manager. I double as our sales manager. And then we've got our production manager, and that's our leadership team. I'm sorry, HR as well.
What does the EOS system mean? Is that a computer system that tells y'all how to do that?
So no.
Employee operating system?
EOS is entrepreneurial operating system.
Okay.
And it's Gino Wickman. It's a brainchild of Gino's. And EOS Worldwide is, I believe he's still the owner of that, and they're a consultant firm. EOS Worldwide is.
Did you say Gino Hickman?
Gene Hickman. Hang on a second.
We'll Googleize it eventually.
Yeah, we'll look it up.
It's a philosophy on how to run the business.
It is, but it's not a business consultant that's going to come in and say, Nate, every other steel business does this. You need to do this. So we hired an integrator. Implementer. Thank you. Those two always confuse me. We hired an implementer to come in and sit down 3 different sessions and walk us through who we really are as a business. And they didn't tell us who we were. They didn't tell us what we needed to do. They guided us.
Ask the questions.
Into who we are and how we succeed. So as a part of that system, there's several different softwares out there that will help you set up your accountability chart and what they call rocks, which are 90-day tasks to be completed by individuals or departments. And then to-dos. So it's a system of holding everyone accountable, but also bringing up problems. We don't ever want problems to hide in the murky shadows. We want problems out front so that we can deal with them.
How long have y'all been using that system?
We are now,
September?
we're 4 or 5 months into the system. This will be our first full year on the system, and it's working absolutely
Game
incredible.
changer.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
It's put Nate and I into perspective of instead of trying to task someone and then overseeing the whole operation and telling someone, hey, I need to get this done, and then going and checking up on them every 45 minutes, going, hey, is this actually getting done? Because Nate and I are very get it done now, move.
Hands on.
Yes.
That's the word you're looking
Yes.
for. We're not micromanagers.
No.
We're-
Yes. We move at a speed that most people don't, so it's seeing something move a little slower hurts physically.
Yeah.
But it's empowered our employees to take things into their hands, make changes, do what they need. It's almost kind of a combination with lean manufacturing, but not as small inventory, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, Nate, what do you think are some of your favorite qualities about Chance as a worker,
I'm scared.
As a worker, oh my God.
as your business partner? Well, I mean, your boss too. What do you love about him?
I could brag
I'm
about.
interested to hear
I
this.
could brag about this young man for forever, but
We're going to go about 10 more minutes. So.
Talk quick.
his literal understanding that sometimes, not sometimes, stop over talking and overthinking things. And we watch people lose opportunities because they talk themselves out of it, or they listen to someone who has absolutely no idea what the hell they're talking about. Or someone who, oh, well, I thought about doing that, but you really shouldn't because I didn't. And no, his tenacity to look at something and decide for himself that this is a good idea and we're going to go with it until, we're going to ride her till she bucks.
Yeah.
And then we're going to figure out how to get back on it. And, it's the Elon Musk theory. Let's build the rocket. Let's shoot the rocket. Let's blow the rocket up. When it fails, what is it?
Rapid unscheduled.
Rapid unscheduled disassembly.
Yeah. Favorite term.
Yes.
But that's how entrepreneurs have to work, because the difference between Elon and NASA is NASA will overthink and cost 40, 50, 100 times what it costs to just launch it and then see what breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And we do it regularly. And we tell everyone, if you come to work for us, you better be nimble, because the process today may not be the process tomorrow, because I want, Chance has proven this. You ask about him specifically. His generation is great at simplifying things. I want the laziest, most efficient people working, because people will find the easiest way to do a job if you let them.
Yeah.
If you dictate to them how to do it, that's all they're going to do. So for Chance, as a 25-year-old
Punk baseball player. Sorry, I don't even know him.
his most endearing quality for me as a business partner is the ability to just put his head down and do the work.
Yeah. Grind.
And there's a medium, there's a mixture there of working smarter and working harder. But anybody who thinks you're going to be successful by just working smarter
Yeah.
has never been successful.
Yeah. And Chance, what do you love about working with Nate, who's also dad? What do you feel his strongest qualities are that you really appreciate?
Man, this is sometimes taken as a bad thing, and I never want anyone to, see me say this and say it's the worst quality out there, because it's not. It's his best quality. Nate has a vision that outreaches even the craziest goals. He is always striving to be better and find a better way to do things. And there's been nights where we got to sit there and he goes, okay, we're gonna change all this up and we're gonna figure out how to do it in the next 10 minutes. And I'm just like, we're reinventing the wheel. But it's always, hey, how can we do this better? How can we service our clients better? And how can we make it easier for our guys to do things? And I would have called him crazy. I did call him crazy. I'm not going to lie about it. Last year when we're sitting down to overlook, what we're going to try and do in 2025, we're going over this going, we have a little bit of history. We had a pretty decent year. We had 3 people working. It's not like we're doing a massive operation. We got low overhead. So we're like, we're starting to see a little bit of success and a little bit of money coming in, but it's not where we want to be. And Nate's over here going, triple it. And we're just like, slow down there, buddy. Just we need to be a little optimistic. We need to be optimistic, but we also need to be realistic. And Nate's ability to take a goal that everyone just sees as just total outblown optimism and turn it into a reality. I mean, Nate has the ability to go into a situation that, the cards are against you and completely just flop a full house.
Yeah,
with just no odds that it's possible. And I've never seen anyone be able to do it the way even growing up. I mean, it's just something that you sit there and watch. You're just like, that just happened. It's the craziest thing. And the funny part is he goes, all right, what's next?
Celebrating that win for 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Y'all guys make a badass team. And, when Riley reached out, that's the crazy thing about podcasts. And I share all these stories. We don't know who we're getting, right? And so I really was excited because I haven't had 2 guests on at once. And I've always kind of wanted to dig into the father-son duo on the team. And I love listening to y'all's story and watching how you guys work. And I can see why it's going to work and why it's going to continue to work. And in my life with my business partner, I kind of have the same thing. I'm all gas and he's like, all right, hold on, let's think about this. But at the same time, I'll be put in a situation and I'll flop an ace also. But it's just like going up to bat, dude. If you go up to bat enough times, you're going to jack one over the fence. You just got to
swing the bat.
And if you go to bat, knowing and thinking most of the time you're going to get to first or second base, that's where you need to be. But every now and then you're going to get lucky and hit a home run.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like you guys have hit a home run working together, and I'm happy to see it. And I'm glad as anything that she reached out.
Yeah.
So let everybody know where they can find you guys at, websites, Instagram. If they need to contact you, where would they find you boys at?
So we're in the process. You talk about the fractional department. We just hired a fractional chief marketing officer. We're revamping our website, but it's practicalmetals.com. We do have a website. It's horrible. I sat with a contractor yesterday and they said, we went to your website and it's horrible. And I said, yeah, because I'm here meeting with guys like you. And, oh, by the way, I don't know how to build a website.
Yeah, me neither.
So it's practicalmetals.com, and you can reach out to our office. Our phone number is 682-401-1010 to reach us at the office. And then I am Nate Roberts on Facebook. I have a lot of fun on Facebook, and I share.
Good.
Yeah, that's probably where Practical Metals on Facebook, Practical Metals Nate on Instagram. Chance hides in the background, and
not a big social media.
You don't have any social media?
No.
Good for you.
I do just personally, but I'm never really.
I call it face trash. I love face trash, and
it's entertaining.
It is, and it's a connector, and we need to connect with people that need metal buildings and business, and we do all kinds of stuff through there. So I think you can get lost in a rabbit hole on face trash if you want, but
100%.
All my crap right now is all business, motivation, this, and I'm like, and sometimes I want to go well, airplanes too, but it's crazy how much they track your interest.
Well, it's sitting right there listening to you.
I know.
It's I mean, mine's doing the same thing. I promise you. Yeah.
That's wild. Well, I appreciate you guys making the cruise down to beautiful Seguin, Texas. It's been cool showing y'all my little hangar and podcast studio. And y'all got anything else you want to get out?
Man, thank you for the opportunity.
You having us here.
Dude, I've enjoyed it. And this is, again, I've said it several times, but this is why I do this shit. Y'all guys' story of where y'all are at resonates with so many people. And some people might think, oh, these guys got it all together, or Tommy's got it all together. We don't.
No.
We're in you guys, me, same spot. We're still looking for knowledge. We're still looking for how do we get there more efficiently? How do we get there better? How do we do this better? And the end of the road for an entrepreneur just never seems, it's just the goalpost is always getting moved.
Absolutely.
And it takes a lot of, I think I did a podcast with Coach Burt, and we labeled it as business as a sport.
Yeah.
And this is a sport. You go and you practice your throws. You practice. I mean, how many times did you practice catching a fucking ground ball?
Way too much.
How many times? And so we're practicing and practicing and practicing, waiting for that big, whatever it is to hit. So I've enjoyed the shit out of it. It's been a pleasure meeting you guys. Thanks for listening to Business Under Fire, and let's get out of here and get to work.
Let's get some of
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching Business Under Fire. We'd love it if you would share, like, and subscribe. See you next time.